Hola familia, ¿cómo están? Welcome back to I Am We, and we're here with another divination session. I was feeling called to do casting today, so we're going to be doing that today. As always though, get comfortable, have a seat, welcome in, thank you for clicking on this video. No one's told you today I love you, you're beautiful, you're magical, you're divine. I'm so grateful you're breathing, I'm so grateful you're existing, and that we get to experience one another through the reflections of the I Am. So, go ahead, let me know what made you smile today. Let me know that in the comments. Get whatever you need to get cozy. I have my cacao right here. We're gonna get into this divination though. Blessed Mercury Day. It's Mercury Day while I'm filming this. Good day for travel, communication, planning, coordinating, and I'm hearing too that Mercury Day is a good day to commune with your spirits, so your ancestors, your angels, your spirit teams, your spirit guides, deities, nature, whatever, whoever you commune with, as long as it's in the highest form of love, or not, to each their own. But today would be a good day to open those channels, just like we're doing right now. So, let's go ahead. Let's see what the ancestors gotta say. Grief. Hearing grief. Turtle. Island. Wow. That's very powerful. The grief on Turtle Island, which for those of you who don't know is North America and these territories. But the grief on Turtle Island is surfacing right now. It's being revealed in many ways. The spells, the curses, the hexes, the magic that was casted upon the land during colonization on those who colonize. How do I explain this? It's like whatever was casted, put out, placed, it's now coming full circle. And the way this feels, or the way it's coming to me, is it's coming full circle to reclaim. It's coming full circle to take back what was taken. So it feels like whatever spells, curses, hexes, indigenous people placed, those from the diaspora placed, feels like that's all coming back to be, there's a word, I guess fulfilled? I still don't feel like that's the right word. To solidify? No. Again, it's just like this reclaiming, like it's coming full circle to just finish up, like this unfinished business. Like the last remnants of those spells are playing out now. And it's coming to an end, a close, a chapter. Ooh. It feels, for some, it's gonna feel very impactful. And for others, it's gonna feel very minuscule. And that has a lot to do with your lineage. Whether you are tied to the indigenous cultures and peoples that this land was taken from, whether you are tied to those that came and took the land, whether you are tied to those that were brought to this land. And for some, I'm seeing just something shrinking and growing, like it's giving like mushrooms, perhaps taking some psilocybin to help with this inner knowing and awareness. You don't have to, but you know, some shroomy medicine's never bad. But I also feel for some, it is going to be this growing and shrinking, because there are a lot of mixed people. I was going to say mutt, but I don't like that word. There are a lot of mixed people. So there are people who do come from the colonizers. There are people who do come from the indigenous. There are people who do come from the diaspora. There are people who are mixed from all those others and more. So I feel this message specifically to those who are, I was gonna say mixed gender, mixed race. I don't know why I was gonna say mixed gender. We're not talking about gender here. Hello. But those who are mixed race, who do have lineage to all aspects of this, there's gonna be many moments where you feel empowered, you feel grown, you feel strong. And there's gonna be moments where you feel small, weak, subsidized. Ooh. And that's because those spells that were placed on not just the peoples, but the lands, there's a word, and I don't know why it's just escaping my mind. But there's like a word I feel that completely just encapsulates what I'm trying to describe. Just like a full circle moment. Like those spells are just having a full circle moment. And it's tying up those loose ends. I don't want to say it's ending, but in a sense it is. Like, the spells have done its part. I don't know, that things are drying up and crumbling. Those that will be heavily influenced will stay small. So those that are tied to more of the colonizer bloodline, there's not much influence. Not much influence that they could do. And for some, this won't influence you at all. And again, this isn't good or bad, this is just what's kind of playing out. But for some, you're just observers. You're not really a part of those lineages and bloodlines that influenced all this. I am feeling it is more specifically to America. However, again, Turtle Island is this whole North American territory. But for some, it's just, we're just observing what's happening around us. Protection. Make sure all of you should really just be upping your protection. Always. But especially if you're observing, just protect yourself. And what is coming through right now is that you should protect yourself also in the sense of knowing if, when, what, who, where to engage. It's saying don't get involved in business that isn't your own. And this is a message from the ancestors. So everything that's channeling right now is through the ancestors. All ancestries. Because if you look at it in a bigger picture, we all are tied one way or another. We are all connected. We are all family. We all have blood coursing through our veins, whether it's the same blood or not. There's a greater purpose for all this happening. Final commencement. There we go. That's what I was looking for. The final commencement of the spells, curses, hexes that were placed on the lands and the peoples that basically just brought havoc, years ago. It's the final commencement, the final stage of that spell work. And again, for some, you're observing it. For some, you're going to feel empowered because you're feeling the power that your ancestors placed of protection and love, and to just ensure that you live today. For some, you're going to be feeling the ramifications of what was placed because of your lineage. And for some who are again mixed, you're going to be feeling all. Meditation, contemplation, discernment, cooperation. That's specific for those who are mixed race and who are going to be feeling again that growing and shrinking energy. And this is why it's important to know your lineage a bit, because it is important. For me, I am Native Mexican, so most of my bloodline comes from the native lands of Turtle Island. However, I do have the other vast majority is Spaniard, so there is colonizer in me. Not as much as the native, but it is there, and something I've recognized in many different moments and instances when I was feeling, acting, thinking certain ways, and I was like, ooh, I recognized where that was coming from. That's why it's important to come back to the heart. To come back to the I am, we are. There is no separation. And forgiveness, ooh. Because again, we're talking about the grief of Turtle Island, so that grief is surfacing. And again, for those who are really affected, you're going to be feeling that grief. You may be having a day where your heart is hurting, your chest is hurting, you're feeling so low and down and sad, and you're not sure why. This is why. You're carrying that energy through you. However, you don't need to take ownership of that, because that's in the past, and that's not your present. However, if you are awakened, attuned, aware, your duty is forgiveness. I feel this pain, I feel this grief of my ancestors, I feel what's happened, and I feel what's been placed and cursed and spelled upon. I forgive, and just feel it dissipate. Forgive, 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 forgive until you feel your heart full. And then be grateful for what's happened, what is happening, for being alive. And then to bring it back into love. Because it's easy when this grief is arising right now for those who are really affected through their lineage and ancestry and bloodline, to feel that remorse, that hate, that vengeance. Like it's strong. Because some of us have some strong ancestors, some strong lineages, some strong bloodline. And again, that's not whether you're good or bad, because everyone's bloodline is strong. However, it's those experiences, those traumas, that create a greater strength. And so your duty is not to break the curse, to break the trauma. It's to forgive it, to be grateful for it, and to take it back further than those moments, way back in time to the original ancestors, the original beings of the planet, where everything was just peace and fruitful and just living and creating and just existing and being, not surviving, only thriving. Because way back in time, when it was just the original beings here, they all existed in love. They all understood the connection as above so below, and they walked in harmony with one another and with spirit. There was no war, there was no famine, there was no scarcity, there was no lack, there was no debt, there was no nothing. It was just pure existence, pure being, pure love of one another and self. Because everything they understood, we all are one. I am we. I am not just me. This is the character and individual I show up as. This is the shaman witch that I show up as. This is the purpose of my individual character in this multiplayer game. But I'm still player one. But me being player one doesn't take away from you being player one. And your player one chose a different avatar, outfit, weapon, That's the thing. But we're still all on the same server. We're still all here communing. We're still all here, you know, fighting the same fight. I don't like to do that. I'm a pacifist. This, you know, I always do say this path of healing and discovery and evolution and awakening, it's not easy, right? However, it comes to a point where it is easy. Because you now recognize the power and you now recognize that I don't need to feed into all this. Because at the core, I, we, me, she, he, thee, they, all Squidward, we are creator. God, Goddess is already within us, already is us, is already whole in us. It's just shedding that layer of trauma, shedding that layer of abuse, shedding that layer of ego, shedding that layer of programming, shedding that layer of society, shedding all those layers to come back to that core. And once you've been back to that core, yes, there'll be moments, instances, experiences that are going to try to build those layers back up, and you could say no. All you have to say is no. I do not take ownership of that. I acknowledge it, but I do not receive it, because that is not who I am. I am love. I am creator. I am existence. I am goddess. I am God. I already am. I already am whole. I've been whole this whole time. It's just that this physical matrix reality had the individual me, the separate self me, thinking, believing that I am separate, that I am my own individual person, that I have to work through the trauma and the fear and the anger and the abuse, and I have to. Yes. I believe you have to when you start the journey, obviously, because you have to build the skill again. Learning to meditate, learning to journal, learning to do yoga, learning to do whatever holistic practice resonates with you that helps you to get back in touch with self and source. But then it's also just letting go eventually of the thoughts, of the beliefs, of the emotions, of the feelings, and recognizing that these are just things to observe. These are not things that you are. You are not the thoughts. You are not the emotions. You are not the beliefs. Do they influence the reality in which we exist and how we perceive it and all that? Yes. But when you come back to the heart space, when you come back to love, when you come back to understanding that I am here, I am now, I am divine source. Cool, something bad, we'll say, happens. This emotion arises. Okay, I acknowledge this emotion. I observe this emotion. I recognize this emotion. I feel through it. I let it go. Cool, alchemize it. So instead of dwelling on it for, let's say, 6 months, you only dwell on it for 6 seconds, 6 minutes, 6 days, you know? You cut that time down of being in perpetual grief and sorrow and sadness and depression and just all these energies that don't exist, that just are, and that we just observe because it's part of the experience as being creator, observing itself through the lens of the creator. So this grief on Turtle Island, how long, how many years has it been that this grief has just been in the ground, stained with the blood, the sweat, and the tears of our ancestors? And again, whether they were good or bad, however you want to say it, because there is no good or bad, it just was. It happened. It is happening. Right now in another dimension, it's still happening. That's why there is no past. There is no future. There's only the present. Because right now, as we're engaging in this, everything we know in history is happening at another point in time, in another dimension, in another universe. Because time is an illusion. It is not linear. So it's all happening now. We are just experiencing the reality in which it's now a memory. It is now in the past. But there's another reality, another dimension, another world out there where it is happening right now. In this moment in time. It's the portals. Think of Rick and Morty. You know? And that's just how it is. So through all this, the overall message is coming into the heart. Really when you're feeling the grief, the sadness, the anger, the depression, you're witnessing the final commencement of this spell work that's been placed. However that's influencing you. And again, it's not good or bad, it's just you're aware of it. Acknowledge it, observe it, choose not to take ownership of it. Separate from that to understand that you're not separate from everything or anything, because we are all connected. The same life force that flows through me is the same life force that flows through you. That flows through everything that's around me, whether it's physical or living. So come back to love, to gratitude. But the ultimate transmuter in that is going to be forgiveness. And it's easy. Just start with forgiving yourself. Because by forgiving yourself, if we are creator, well, we are the creator. We're not separate from the creator. We are not a separate self or individual or being. So, in I forgiving myself, I forgive you. Because if I am God, Goddess, I'm not going to a pastor to, ask for forgiveness and rebuke my sins and all these things. Yes, you could do that if that is your practice. Not judging. Do your own thing if that helps you feel more in alignment with that. But I am creator, witnessing this experience through my individual perspective. You are your own player one, experiencing the same thing, but we're just reflections. So if I forgive myself, it's not having to go to God that's separate from me and be like, hey, forgive me. No, because I already am that. I am that. You are that. We are that. So it's not asking for forgiveness, it's simply giving it. Because you ask and you receive, right? So if I'm going to a separate God, hey, I ask for forgiveness. And then you're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting to be forgiven because you feel like it has to be this whole thing. No, it's as simple as I forgive myself. I forgive myself. Therefore, you are God already giving you the forgiveness. You're asking and receiving in the same time. You ask for the forgiveness and you receive it. Not even really asking for it because you're claiming it. You're affirming it. I forgive myself. And in this sense of healing too, you're not just forgiving thyself because you're seeing it as you're not separate from anyone or anything or everything. So in doing that, that forgiveness now goes into the web of consciousness. And that forgiveness, you ever seen the spider web? Like, so I forgive myself, and then it vibrates, and all it sends out to all the other webs that are connected to it, which is everything. But we've been believed that we're just healing our own selves, this own physical body, this own individual self. Yes, but it comes to a point to where you recognize that you aren't separate from anyone or anything. So your healing actually is healing the collective. I know you hear it all over this, but there comes a point where you truly just understand it and embody it. And I'm so aware of it. And it's beautiful. It is so beautiful. And you are beautiful. If no one's told you today, I love you. Just take a moment to breathe, to integrate the messages, because, wow, there's so much harmony and union that's coming in right now. So much. And there's many communities. There's one that's broken. The divine feminine has awakened and risen. And that's where this whole sense of the final commencement of the spell because their spell works on both sides. Wow. Ooh. Oh, wow. It was the spells from the indigenous peoples of Turtle Island placed on the colonizers for, again, just bringing this bloodshed and the famine and the hate and all of that. Cursing the land, cursing the lineages of the people, XYZ. But it was also the spells that were placed from the colonizers and those that were, in a sense, worshipping patriarchy, that casted the spell on the divine feminine to close it and harness it and keep her trapped for all these years. But now she's freed. Ooh. It's justice. I think that was the word I was looking for. There's justice being served through all the spell work on both sides. So much justice. That's why, again, for some, for many, you're gonna feel, see, observe the impact. Prayer. And just coming into the heart. But the divine feminine is bringing justice. She's balancing out all the that's happened and occurred. She's balancing it out. That balance is coming. Balance is already in play, actually, because again, another point in time in another universe dimension, it's already happened. It already is happening right now. But we're now in this space and time where you're watching this video and getting this message and receiving this download, like, whoa, wow, okay, I accept it. But she's freed. She's here. She's queer. She ain't got no fear. Hey. Wow. That was a powerful message. Powerful, powerful message. I love it. I was not expecting all that. I just thought I was going to cast some beans and go about the day. Wow. Wow. So, if you enjoyed this, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Comment how this resonated. Comment what made you smile. Share it. Subscribe. Whatever your heart feels. But just know I love you. And you are so beautiful. I'm so grateful that you exist. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to witness us. Because I love us. I'm also going to start saying that. Because I don't want to separate anyone anymore. It's not I love you or I love me. I love us. Because we are all I am creator. You know? So, yeah. If y'all are looking to evolve, awaken, shift just your whole reality, go ahead at the link in the description. You could book a one-on-one personal soul session, and it includes a lot. I feel like it's a good deal. It's beautiful. It allows me to be of service using the gifts that I've been blessed with to help you step into your gifts that you've been blessed with, to show up in your purpose as your player one and what you're supposed to bring to the collective. So go ahead and do that. I got on Sunday, we are doing a Zoom live at 9 p.m. for the new moon in Taurus, shamanic ritual ceremony. Come through. It's free to participate. You can leave a donation if you feel called. But I want to see your beautiful faces there. Because I love you. And I'm so excited. I think that's all I have to mention. Yeah. So, stay tuned. Stay cute. Stay safe. I love you. I love us. Yes. All right.